Sisters, it's Dona Rutowicz, and we have our special guest today, Melva. And Melva, I'll give you a moment to introduce yourself. And for those of you who are just beginning and or maybe just starting your sisterhood journey here at Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond, we help women reclaim their hearts, recover their power, get their lives back post-divorce, right? We are successful, smart, intelligent women who've got most of our life together. It's this personal side of things we couldn't quite seem to move the needle on. And I am, again, Dona Rutowicz. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and expert, a rapid transformational coach. And what I like to say is I am a recovering psychotherapist, meaning that part of my practice has been closed and I operate here in this transformational coaching space now. And I have a very special guest today, and her name is Melva. So Melva, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are?
Hi, Donna. Yes, I'm also a licensed clinical social worker, but I still practice.
Yes.
30. I've been practicing for 36 years, and I really love what I do. I love this. It's just like I was in such a different space, and DGB is like, I don't know. It's just magical. I went from being below zero to a whole.
You're a whole new person, Melva. Like literally.
Completely.
And for those of you who are joining in, just to let you know, hi Mel, it's so good to see you. Good morning. The show that I have, these conversations I have with Melva and these amazing women, there's nothing scripted. It is just us chatting. And we were talking about before we hopped on there is someone out there who Melva's message, right, is going to inspire to make the moves that are necessary to get from unstuck to stuck, right? Because so many women, when they come to me, they're on one side of the bridge, right? So they're on one side of the bridge. They see that there's a bridge. They just don't know how to get to the other side because this side of the bridge has caused so much chaos. And so I remember very specifically the first call we've ever had, right? Where you were in a very different place,
Yes.
right? And I truly believe, and you could let everybody know your story, but I truly believe like our internal guide, our soul, our heart has never been taken away from us, but the scales and the noise of life have created so much, what I would say, frequency issues. We can't hear ourselves.
Yes.
That was you.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely. Without a doubt. I mean, I had never been so low in my life. I really hadn't. And the funny thing is just that I knew that there was something more out there and that I had to reach it, but I just didn't know. And then when I heard your
probably the master class, you probably came across my master class.
I was in my office, and it was Friday night, and I just didn't feel like working. I just didn't want to do any paperwork. And I was just in a really bad situation. And you came in my Facebook feed, and I go, oh, wow, let me listen to her. And I took all the notes, and then you offered a
breakthrough call,
a free call. And we had it. It was a little bit challenging because of time and everything. And then I was like, oh my God, I really need to do this. And, the divine.
You did, and you chose yourself. And we actually worked through your wobble, because here's what, and just to share with everyone in the sense, this is what women like us do, right? When you're a heart-centered, successful woman who has a heart for herself, for the world, for her family, for her loved ones, it's very easy for us to make decisions and to do things for others because it's ingrained.
Yeah.
Right? It's just what you do. You do things for others. And when it comes time to really making the decision to invest in yourself, to make the change in your life, right? It's like, you need it, but there was a little time that you wobbled, and I was like, wow, you're Melva, you're going to move through this wobble, and you're going to do this. And you decided, yes, I'm doing this. And from that point forward, your life, just to see what's unfolding, right? Just in work. Because what I like to say too, is when women come to DG, we're coming because we're healing our heart and we're healing our soul fracture from divorce.
Yes.
Right? That's why we're here. And we don't want to be the cat lady living in the condo alone for the rest of our
Yes.
life, right? We don't want to do that. We've read the books. You're a psychotherapist, like you're
Yes.
a therapist. Like this is our trade. Like we understand, but everybody needs a coach, right?
Yes.
We all, because we can't see those blind spots. And when you decided to do this work, oh my gosh, your practice is expanding.
Yes.
You're doing the things that you had put off for so many years, right? Like dancing and getting, you got to share with that. Like your spark for life
Yes.
has come back. And in a way that I have to say, Melva, is like, it's just not even just a little bit, it is fire.
Yes. No, it is. I remember our first call, you said, we're putting the
line in the sand.
The line in the sand.
Yes,
And I thought, oh my God. And I listened to everything, and I was I mean, I'll be honest, I was in disbelief.
I know. Listen, you're not alone. And that's what I say. I could handle disbelief. I don't know if this is going to work for me. What is this Donna girl talking about?
Yeah.
There's no way, because we have been fed in this world that healing from divorce is something that has to take years and years and years, and just get over it. Just don't forget about it. And that's bullshit. Excuse my language, because that just is what keeps us stuck more. Right. So I can handle disbelief, but our saying at Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond, which is DGB. So when you hear Melva and I, suffering is not an option. We just don't do it anymore.
No, it's not worth it. It's just, there's so much other avenues out there that are so much better. And let's
talk about this disbelief part, because this is important, because I know you were skeptical. I know you were. So
I was.
And let's just say everybody is.
Yes.
Right. This is the reason why when someone joins Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond, the first thing that I do with them is I ask them if I could sit in their heart with them and give them the tool that we could use to reframe the squirrely thinking, because our squirrely thinking has sort of what kept us from the personal side of achievement. On the business side, we could do what we need to do. We can make decisions. We could do what we need to do. Not a problem. It's the personal side. So here you are, a skeptic, right? I love skeptics. I don't know if this is going to work for me. And you even were like, Donna, I'm not sure. I may not do this, right? You were rethinking it, double rethinking it.
No.
But at the end of the day, you're here. So what have you learned, and what could you tell everybody now from your experience of just what's possible in these 12 weeks?
It's just that it's drastic. It's like, it's this incredible, I was like down in the dumps. I mean, I was below zero.
Yep.
And then you come into my life, and it's like you know, when people die and they shock them back into life.
Oh, that's a good one, Melva.
And that's what I felt. I felt like, oh my God, she really means this. And and the disbelief is like, is that really possible?
Yeah.
Because that's I had never been that way, never in my life.
Yeah.
Been to that level. I'm 59 years old, going to be 60. Never, ever. I mean, I've been depressed, situations.
We've all been through the stuff, right? Sure.
Because of the divorce, because of my son and things like that. But this was like, and I thought, and even though I was in disbelief, and I thought, wow, if this is really possible, this is what I've been asking for. And this is what I wanted. And I wasn't expecting such a fast change in such little time, because it was like, my first day was the 13th, and then the 12th. I'm sorry, the 12th is my first day, and then I had that wobble, and then we talked the following day, and then you helped me with the wobble, and then my first coaching was off the record. I mean, it was like magical. It's like, oh wow, there are people like, I mean, I just get goosebumps just talking about it, because
and that's another big part of it is, and this is the reason why I love the work that we do, is because I remember what it was like to be in that space of just needing help and not being able to find it. Because what I found in my experience in the past is I would, again, I business-wise, I could make decisions, I could run things, it wasn't a problem. But when it came to this side, I felt I almost felt like a failure because I couldn't figure out why I couldn't figure it out. And then I
Yeah.
would go to places and I would be like, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to go to a meetup group, or I'm going to go to a divorce care. I'm going to do that. I would leave those groups worse off than I was when I first
Yeah.
started, because it was a tsunami of hurt people trying to hurt people, trying to like hurt people. It was like the circle of no one was on the path to
Yeah.
optimal health, optimal wealth, optimal spirit.
Yeah.
And so, what we found, what we have at Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond, and tell me if you think it's the same way. I mean, when I say we have the community of the best women on the planet, I
Oh.
mean, we have the community of the best women on the planet.
Well,
For sure.
I think I have to add to that. I mean, this is from my heart. I think from the whole universe. Forget about the planet.
Oh, Melva, I love you.
I swear, I really believe that, because it's been my experience. I am so grateful. I have learned so much in this time frame, and my practice is growing, and I started a new venture with the elderly and memory, and
I
it's
love it.
amazing helping these people, and it's so good. And not only that, I had left dancing because I couldn't. And not only did I go back to dancing, but I did a performance for a showcase.
Yeah, and not only just a little performance, the lead role of the performance, my friends. Like you were, not only did you go back but you did it freaking top class, all the way.
Oh, yes, definitely. And not only that, and how grateful I was to be able to do that. And the money that we got from it got to go to kids with cancer. I mean, how does it get any better than this and this?
And so let's stay here, because this is the part that I think is so critical for every woman who's listening to this. Do you remember back in the day when people were traveling to come into the United States and they were coming by, say, ship? They had a trunk they would put all their clothes in.
Yes.
What is that trunk called? I forgot what it's called. There's a name for it. I can't remember what it is.
No.
It's a wardrobe or whatever. Or
it's called a wardrobe trunk, isn't it?
Yeah. So whatever that trunk is. But what happens is, I think, again, in my experience and what I see, is that as we go through life, and as young children, as we're picking up patterns, beliefs, and behaviors, they're absorbing into our psyche, they're absorbing into our soul, and we're not necessarily taught to challenge those patterns or those beliefs. We're just taught to believe they're true, right? So we believe these patterns and belief, like good girls do good things, or if you do this, then you get this. And again, I'm not saying they're all bad, but we don't necessarily challenge them to say, do they serve me or do they hurt me? Then we go into a marriage, we go into, a relationship, and we have children, or we have our careers, or we do the work thing. And before you know it, especially for the marriages that end in divorce, we spent 10, 20, 30 years in and also picking up patterns, beliefs, and behaviors that sort of, what I would say, instead of igniting our pilot light, actually put our pilot light out, to the point where sometimes we feel, again, at work and other areas, we feel, okay, we have power over there, but on the personal life, we feel so defeated. We feel like, I don't even know if this is possible for me. We feel like I don't want to attract another narcissist in my life. I can't go through it again, right? Like, and you feel like there's a part of you that longs for love, but then there's a part of you that has been, and let alone our belief systems of how we feel about ourselves when it comes to self-confidence or self-worth, they've been sort of damaged. So we're not really stepping up to the table. And when I say that, I feel like our dreams and our hopes of who we were as women, and the spirit side of us, of what God has implanted us for, at what we're giving to the world, like our gift to the world, gets put in this chest, and we close the lid, and we don't know how to open it. We don't know how to find it. And we ignore it and we bury it. And now that, to me, is a tragedy, because I believe heaven on earth. I believe we could be living our most amazing life here.
Well, now I do.
Now you do, right? Like, I believe it, and we do, and we experience it. But what I also believe is, within our heart and within our soul, each one of us is gifted with a special talent, with a special reason why we are here. And if our heart and our soul is locked in that trunk, we're not able to participate with life and do what we're here to do, which brings also what I would say another level of discomfort, which we don't know is because we feel like our lives aren't where they're supposed to be. We feel like we're pinched off. We feel like we can't see our future. We feel like we don't know what's ahead for us. And that's because our heart and our body and our mind, in a sense, is in this trunk. And when we do the work to release the patterns, beliefs, and behaviors, to step into our full self-worth, right? To step into our authentic, courageous, bravery self, to step into say, wait a minute, I matter. This now it's about me. I've done for everybody else. It's about me. And when we allow ourselves to rediscover ourselves and actually create this identity that we know is in our heart and open the trunk and let her be free, it's like, this is what happens, right? Like you are sprinkling, just by you walking in a room, think about it. When you walk in a room, when we're sad or we're depressed or we feel hopeless, we walk in a room and no one wants to be around us.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Versus when we walk in a room now, you don't have to say a word. Everybody wants to be around you, right? It's just like this energetic, and you're sharing with the world, you're dancing, you're showing people like this is what life is. You're able to have the capacity to think about this extra venture that you want to do with the elderly population that you wouldn't have if you were still stuck in misery, right?
Exactly. I could have said it better myself. Donna.
Yeah. So it's like this unfolding. We really get to actually say, hey, wait a minute. I have an assignment here on Earth, and I may have lost the memo from this assignment. I may have been sidetracked because actually, if you think about your marriage, and especially so many women who are listening, their ex-husbands and their marriages, he may have stolen that memo and stood in the power and control, right? And manipulated the situation so that true self wasn't able to be there. And we get to say, going back to that first call, we are drawing the line in the sand.
Yes.
And no longer are we the victim to our circumstance.
Oh, no.
We are the master of cause. We're going to unfold, right? Yep. And Melva, tell me, because this is something too that I find to be, at least in my journey, right? And the women that I work with, is that we don't have to focus on the how it's coming to us. Once we clear out the energy, we focus on the what.
Exactly.
What it is we want.
Exactly. And that's that. And I love the whole program. I'm in love with the program. I really
Well, we're in love with you, Melva. We love you right back. It's a marriage made in heaven.
Yes.
Even we wore the same pearls today, guys. This is our plan. Melva and I, we both saw each other. We're like, perfect.
It's, how could I put this? It's funny because I have words for everything. So when I don't have words, that's how, amazing this is. I remember being married to my son's father, and it was just hell. And every time that I got like a breath and started to like come out of it, he would make sure of just pushing me
back down.
And it was horrible. And it's been a while, but still, it's like that was there, and I didn't realize it till I got into the program.
That's it. You don't know until you don't know. And Jackie is saying, "We love you, Melva."
I love you guys. This is just,
but true. It is so true, Melva, because we talk about this on our group Q&A calls, right?
Yes.
We feel like we're operating, and even though we know things are off, and even though we know the marriage may not have been good, and even though we know that there's been damage that's been had and we need to heal and we want to move on, I don't really know. We don't know just how damaged we were or how much we were spiritually limping in life until we're here on the other side. And then we're like, oh my gosh. Like I had no idea just how entrenched and how insidious this toxic language has been. And I'm saying the internal language. I'm not even saying the external, right? But I'm saying the internal of how we are showing up as women, and just how much of our of our personal, again, this is personal because it's very different on the business side. And
Right.
I think that's where so many women, where we sort of go a little bit, what I would call the insanity loop, is we could be successful on the business side and we have it together and we'll try to use those same tools on the personal side. They don't work. And so it's that insanity loop. But when you realize like, wow, I'm out of it.
Yeah, such a relief. It's like every day I wake up excited.
Yes.
Like, okay, what's coming today? And it's always good. And I love like how you have everything set up, all the tools. They are like invaluable. I mean,
and I love it. So what Melva's talking about, for anybody who's listening, the way that we structure Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond is we have a 3-prong approach, right? We use a combination of the group Q&As, where you have people who we're all coming together as a sisterhood. We're learning from one another. Then you have your individual coaching with your coaches. And then there's a self-paced curriculum model. And then there's fun things like retreats where we're going to college. So do you remember, like, for everybody who's listening to, who has looked at their life and has looked at their friends who were married and their family, and again, it's not that we wish them any bad will, we wish them the best. However, when they're living their life and you're thinking, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm at this point in my life. Like, here I am thinking, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do in retirement, have all these plans, only to find out that that's not the case as of that moment, right? That you're alone, that this marriage has ended, and now you're in this space, and you want to be with someone else. You want to be, but you just don't know how. We actually get to be the people that our friends now look at and say, I want to be her, right? Not necessarily about the divorce part, but just how we're living our life, right? That we get to travel together. We get to do the things that all of our friends and all of our family is doing, and all the plans that we had for our retirement or our job or how we want to live life. We get to create it, and we still get to do it. We follow through.
Yes, I totally agree.
And so we're going to get to spend some time together in Cabo, which I can't wait. So by the way, this is letting the cat out of the bag, but everybody who's listening to this will hear this. And for the sisters who are going on the retreat, but almost every single person, we have almost 40 people going, right?
That's awesome.
Almost 40. I know. And we have, for our sunset sail cruise, we're going to Cabo San Lucas, and we have a sunset sail cruise. We're renting 2 private boats. So it's just going to be us sisters on these boats, because again, here at DG, we do not live on crumbs. Good is not good enough. There's plenty of times when I say good is good enough, but in our life, when it comes to ourselves, good is not good enough. We are about optimal health, wealth, spirit, abundance. And take it from Melva and take it from myself. Melva and I both were in a place where we were hit at the knees. We were hit at the knees with life, financially, spiritually, personally. And it was really like a glim existence in that sense, right? And to be able to know that what you learn at Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond is not just us throwing noodles at the wall and saying, well, what sticks, right? Like, it is about learning how to reprogram your brain. It's about learning how to get rid of the toxic thoughts and emotions. And it's also about replacing what you have taken out, replacing it with something healthy.
Yes.
Right? As a psychotherapist, you get that, right? Melva? Like, you have to replace it with something good.
Right. It's a complete transformation from zero to everybody. I mean, everybody is asking me, well, what's going on with you? Did you change your hair? And
I love that. That's the best question. Did you change your hair? You're looking really good. Like, did you go on vacation? Did you change your hair?
And then I love every time I tell somebody that I'm 59, going to be 60 this year.
I would never guess that, Melva, too. Never, ever.
And I'm like, and I'm so proud of being. Everybody's like, "Oh, don't say that." I go, "Yes."
Why not? I earned this.
That's my true age, and I think that my best is still to come. And I know that taking the being in this group, I know that someday I want to find a healthy man.
And you will. There's not even a shadow of a doubt, because you have done So what happens is, and again, when I say this to whoever's listening, it's not about right or wrong. It's not about bad or good. It's about what serves us and what doesn't serve us. What most women do post-divorce is they get out of a divorce hoping that the grass is going to be greener on the other side, right? Because we all do. We're all like, okay, once I get over this divorce, then I'll be able to do blah, blah, blah. And then when we get to that point, we're like, oh, like things don't quite work out, right? But we've been taught to bury things. We've been taught to get over it. We've been taught to be a big girl, keep going forward, right? And then what ends up happening is we try to manipulate our outside environment to meet what it is we want. But what ends up happening is we end up attracting someone like our husband, our ex-husband 10 times over.
Oh, yes.
Because it's not about manipulating the outside environment. It's really about transforming the inside environment. The key to the puzzle, and I'm giving you my secret sauce, who's ever listening to this right now.
Yes.
Right? No,
you
the
got
secret
it.
sauce, and you know this, Melva, more than you know it.
Yes.
The secret sauce is you have to. It's not even a choice. Again, it is a must. You've got to become your own soulmate first.
Exactly.
You've got to learn how to love yourself, to show up for yourself, to extend grace for yourself. And you've got to learn how to identify those toxic thoughts, patterns, and behaviors from the past that do not serve you, learn how to challenge them, and learn how to rip them the hell out of your garden, because it is like a weed, right?
Yes.
If you don't rip them out, they're gone. And that's the work that goes right back in the work that you do with Coach Katie, right? Going back to the little girl and really, because again, the patterns, beliefs, and behaviors that are showing up now, and I don't care if you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, it does not matter. They started when you were young. Yeah. They started when you were young. Oh, Mel Green is here. Mel is saying she's on the edge of her seat listening. She's only 1 year out of the gate and she feels like shit right now. Well, Mel, you're in the right place.
Yes.
You are in 100% the right place, because there is hope.
Yes,
right?
definitely.
And it is learning how to love yourself. Because if you think about the concept,
yes,
when we help other people, right? Because as women, that's what we do. You could have a team, you could be a leader, you could be a mother, you could be a sister, cousin, friend, whatever. When you're looking outside of yourself, in a sense, you're abandoning yourself. Subconsciously, because what we're doing is we're thinking we're doing good by helping others, because that's what we've been programmed to do, right? There's a reward in society, there's a validation when we put ourselves last as women. Mm-hmm. It's my mission to change that, by the way. But anyway, it's what's there, right? And so when we do that, we think we're doing something good, but what we're actually doing is abandoning ourselves. Yes. So if we don't learn, again, to be objective, no story, no meaning, no ticket to the circus, just say, wow, for my entire life, I have, in a sense, in my personal side, I have abandoned myself. Yes. And so if I've abandoned myself, there's a formula, right? Because just like 2 + 2 is 4, just like I go into my room and I turn my lights on, the electricity turns on. If I abandon myself in me, when I go out to find my partner, I'm going to send like energy of that abandonment, and I'm only going to attract men who can't possibly be loyal or committed to me. Yes. So if we don't heal that part and choose us first, that's why there's an investment in DG, significant, to choose yourself. That's why there's a choice to say, I'm leaning in, I'm choosing me, I'm doing this work, is because we're drawing the line in the sand and we're saying we are no longer going to abandon ourselves. We're going to choose ourselves. And then you don't have to know how to do it, but as you learn it, and as you're learning it, and the more and more you fall in love with yourself, the more and more you have grace for yourself, is the more and more you're showing up for yourself. Now you're going to be ready to get out there and date and attract the right person, because now you are true to you. Yes. You have become your own soulmate. You have shown up for you, right? And I want to say for you, Melva, and I love this. I remember you said this on a call a few weeks ago. You were like, Donna. Yeah. Because basically at DG, we say, come to one weekly call, go to your individual sessions, right? And go, but you're like, I'm coming to them all. Like, I am not, that's it. It's in my calendar. I'm coming to them all. And you did, because you chose you. So with that said, when you are ready,
Yes.
right, to open your heart,
Mhm.
that man is coming. Like there's no stopping him, right? But
Oh,
here's what happens so many times, right? Is so many women come to DGB like, okay, I'm ready to attract someone. I really don't want to live my life alone, right? And then we do the work on ourselves, but we become so happy in ourselves. We're like, I think we can just wait a little while longer. We're not in such a rush right now, right? How freaking funny is that? It really turns around. We're like, because we're
that's
not in that.
how
We're not like, oh my God, is he coming? We know he is. But
I
we
know.
like our life now.
No, I know, but my transformation has been so immense. I rearranged my whole schedule so I could make my two. They're like sacred
Yes.
to me. The group, it's just
And
it
so
all works together.
I love it, Melva.
The perfect
Yes.
job at doing this. It's just perfection. It's magical. It's bliss. It's supreme. And yeah, you get your wobbles, which I got them, but the love, the support, the grace. I have never met so many amazing women that I feel honored and privileged to be in a call with, in a Zoom, and it's just real and just so healing for my soul. And honestly, I remember that I asked you, what do you think I should do? Should I start dating? Because some guys wanted to date me, and you said, it's up to you, but you said, why don't you date yourself? And I thought, wow, I like that idea. And now I'm like, okay, I love me. And how magical is that I can say I love me, and then I'm going to put myself first than anybody else, than my immediate family, than my son, than anybody. And just the most interesting thing that I have found is how good I feel about myself.
Yeah.
And it radiates, and then everybody's treating me so different. Like everybody, whether it's my patient, my mother is like, oh my God, you look so nice.
It's like,
I'm giving me compliments. And it's like every time oh, I love that dress. Oh, those shoes are very nice. I mean,
it's like, who is this? And Andy is here with us. Andy is saying she loves the matching necklaces that we have, right? It was unplanned, Andy. Unplanned.
Yes, it was. It was.
But you know why people are showing up differently in your life?
Yes, everybody.
That's because you are showing up differently.
Yes.
See, what is also true is that we hold a standard of how other people treat us. Yes. So when we treat ourselves with love and respect,
yes,
we get treated with love and respect,
yes,
because we will not tolerate anything less than that.
Oh, no.
Now, again, it doesn't mean we're better than anybody else. It doesn't mean we need to be bitchy. No. It doesn't mean that, but basically we do not entertain anything less than that. And I think that's where the power comes, right, Melva? Is when you get power, because I love what you said. This is what successful women do. Yeah. You make a decision, and it's not about how am I going to fit my life around Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond, or how's Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond going to fit around my life? The question becomes, how is my life going to fit around DGB? I am going to change everything. Because that's what you do when you put yourself first and you say, okay, I am the priority. Yes. This work is the priority. We've spent, again, 10, 20, 30, 40 years in relationships and marriages that didn't serve us.
No, at all.
3.5 months, we say, right? And this is a lifetime journey with us, but for 3.5 months, you want to date yourself.
Yes. And you were right. I love spending time with myself. Everything is like, I think in one of the calls, or one of the times that we talked, you said, it's like you get into curiosity, like,
yes,
okay, what's in it today?
What's in it today? Yes.
And then, it's miracles. I mean,
and Melva, there's a difference between two, and I think this is an important part for women to hear, right? Which is, this is not about positive thinking. There is positive thinking, right? But the positive thinking model says, I'm not looking at, challenges or what, I'm just going to put a positive thought over it, cancel it out. And and that's what it's going to be.
Oh,
That's
no,
not what DGB is. What DGB is we enter into a state of curiosity. We enter into a state knowing that miracles and synchronicities are going to happen because we're creating it. And when challenges come in, we just look at our toolbox.
Yeah.
And we take the tool because we know our joy, our true, where we are, our state of being is not based upon outside of ourselves, right? Our state of being is where we're choosing it to be, and we could have joy in spite of the suck.
Yes.
Right? Like even though the outside circumstances could be chaotic, and we all handle, if you are a human being, right? If you are here on earth, there is no one immune from the human experience.
Of course.
Right?
Yes.
But in our suffering or our misery or our sadness, it's no longer, right? We are in challenging, and we can handle challenges, and we only pass through the challenges. We don't buy a house on the street anymore.
Oh, definitely. No.
That's a bad neighborhood. That's a bad neighborhood. We just don't go to anymore. No more.
No. Not even to visit.
Not even.
Yeah, not even to visit. We don't need to anymore because the program is so perfect. It just, you can't help it. I mean, I don't even know what to say because.
Well, that's what you said before. When you have no words, right? But what I will ask you is, Melva, what would you say to the woman now, right? Who like Mel, right? Who's, just to go back to what she said, she's only 1 year out. She feels like shit right now. Like things quite aren't going her way, right? But smart and successful on the business side, has good family and friends, has been struggling. And this part of her life, she hasn't been able to quite move the needle on. So for Mel and women like Mel, what is guidance you could give? Like, what is something that you could say to them that you would just like to impose or not even impose, but impart your wisdom on? What would you like to say or share?
To do the program. I mean, I know it, it involves.
I'm just going to put that there because I think this is, because just you and me, me enough now to know I am not someone who forces at all. If I think that there's a guide for you, I'm going to say, Melva, do this. Like even dating, right? I said to you, if you're a grown woman, you get to make your choice. I will never force you into doing anything. However, here's what we know, and here's what we know works, and have you considered it? Right. Yeah. Let's look at the benefit, right, of what serves you and what doesn't. Right. And so I am not a person who forces anybody to go through Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond. This is an opportunity to choose yourself and lean in. And what I say is every given moment, we have an opportunity to lean in or bow out. Right. So what happens so many times, and this was my own experience before I really understood the value of coaching, now that I know it myself, right? But many, many years ago, was I was constantly searching for something. Something would come to me, but then what would happen was the fear would come in, my lack of self-worth, my lack of value, and then my instinct of, wait, I'm a smart woman. I've got this. I can handle this at work. I can handle this here. So let me just try to do it on my own. Yes. Never worked, right? No, is that what happens so many times is you will say, like, perfect example, it's Friday night, you're done with your notes. I can't. And you happen to the webinar comes across, right? You're like, okay, let me listen to it. You book a call and you decide to do the work. What happened with you is you asked for help, right? Spiritually speaking, it came to you. Yes. And you followed the lead. Right. Yeah. Even though there was fear there, even though there was uncertainty, even though there was a wobble, there was a lot of fear, but you still follow the lead. And that's what I would say is I hear so many times women saying, I'm praying for this. I'm praying for the work. I'm praying for something like this. And then they won't do the work because fear will come in. Yes. Oh, yeah. And so when I say this, when I share this with Melva, we could truly say, and if you've seen, if you go through Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond, this main page, this LCSW page that I have, my main Facebook page, you'll see that what we do does work. And if you are a smart, successful, intelligent woman, if you've got most of your life together, the office, at home. And again, doesn't mean we don't need refinements, right? Because we refined your practice and what you're doing and all of that. But for the most part, you're stable there. But it's this personal side you quite haven't been able to move the needle on. You've done the therapy, you've done the books. Take it from Melva and myself. We are licensed, trained therapists, and we still need support.
Because we only the best part.
That's it, right? Because you only know what you know, and the growth part is great, right? But I would say book a call and come through the program. It will 100% change your life. And we are on a mission. Melva is a sister. I'm a sister. We are on a mission to release the women from the liberation of the prison.
Yes, honestly, I want everybody to have the privilege that I had, because the changes were drastic. I mean, going below zero to I have the happiest life. I mean, I'm like, wow, this really is heaven. I mean, not that things don't happen, girls. It does. But
I love it. I love it. And Melva, you coined something for us in the program. Well, first off, we have to coin this from below zero to heaven. I mean, that's perfect because that's true. Doesn't mean life is perfect. Doesn't mean it's unicorns and butterflies.
Oh, no.
But you're waking up and, the challenges are very different. They're curiosity. Right? But you coined something, which I love. And I'm giving, this is backstory stuff at DGB.
Oh, that's right. I forget.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to coin this because we use it all the time. I'm giving you the credit, right?
Thank you.
Which is face everything and rise. That's fear. Do you remember?
Yes.
Face it. We're talking about fear, and you're like, you know what fear is for me now? Face everything and rise.
Yes. Face everything.
And Angie, when I was having the conversation with Angie, she had shared that, I had asked her a little bit about herself, right? And she's like, well, I check all the proverbial boxes, right? I check this box, that box, this box. I'm a mom. I'm an employee. I'm a leader. I'm this, this, and this. And she goes, but I'm choosing not to sort of define myself from these boxes anymore. I'm creating this. And I feel like this is what we do at DG. This is you. We are not defined by the boxes anymore. We are fear is there. We don't have to deny it.
Of course not.
We don't have to ignore it. But we get to say is, wait a minute, I could face it and I could use it as an impetus to rise, right? Because that's oh my God, this is so good. Melva, I can just go through this all day long. I feel like Oprah when she says, this is a tweetable moment, right? This is like a tweetable moment is like when in the past, what we've been taught, again, when it comes to our emotions and our feelings in the divorce arena and how we handle it is to sort of push it aside, right? Put it to look the other way. And that's the worst advice. It's the worst thing because only thing that it does is it just causes, it creates stagnation. It's like, it just becomes toxic. It's disgusting. When you could just say, hey, listen, this sucks. I wish I wasn't in this place. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
Of course.
However, my reality is this is where I'm at. And if I want to cross this bridge, then what I need to know is I have to stop turning my back and pretending things aren't the way and hoping things will be another way, because hope is not a strategy here, right? No. Hope and prayer. We utilize it, but hope is not going to get you to where you want to be. Inspired action does, right? And so when you say, wait a minute, I'm just going to turn and I am going to face as a warrior, because I don't have to do this alone.
Yes.
And I'm going to face my demons, or I'm going to face my past. Yes. I'm going to face that toxic pattern, belief, and behavior, not making it right or wrong, bad or good, but we are cleaning freaking house, girl. Like we are going in that closet. And we're like, nope, don't need that. And you know what? For all of you who have those size 2 pants that you've been holding on to for 20 years, because you're like, I'm going to lose the weight this year, right? Or this will be the year I'll get into those pants. Absolutely not. We're going to Marie Kondo that shit. Those pants get out and you get to wear pants that really fit you and feel so good, right? Because what are we waiting for? Truly.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
What are we waiting for? Your life is happening now. Your life is happening now. And if you don't direct your life, if you don't choose what you want it to do, someone else or something else is directing your life for you. Not an option for DGB sisters.
Mhm.
So if you want to be part of a community like Melva and I, like we could talk all day.
Yes, we can.
But if you want to be part of a community where Melva and I are, where again, smart women know we hire the right people, we go into the communities and we claim our seat at the table of where we want to be. We're not, you know, like there's kind of this story that says there's women who have the glass half full, right, or look at the glass half full. There's women who look at the glass half empty. But Melva and I are the women that are drinking the fucking water while everyone else is complaining. Is it half full or is it half empty? Excuse my language. But we're drinking it. We're having fun.
Oh, we're having a blast. That's the other thing. Every challenge that I've had, whether it's Katie or Jackie or Donna, has made it, I mean, like magic. I mean, I have fun. I mean, my favorite thing is not to do paperwork. And now I'm going to wear a tiara and a tutu to do my paperwork.
Yes, why not? It's fun.
Everything is like fun. And I didn't live there. I mean,
yes,
I didn't. So it's such great contrast, and I don't want to go back.
There's no reason. We actually, you can't. You know why? Because you're neurologically programmed now. You cannot go back to those old patterns and behaviors,
even if you wanted to.
Even if you wanted to. Now, it doesn't mean that wobbles won't present themselves, and it doesn't mean that. But you are literally programmed.
Yes.
Because your mind is programmed so differently. Even if you wanted to, you can't go back. So come drink the water with me and Melva. Share. Forget about if it's half empty, if it's half full, or whatever. Just take it and drink it, and let's take some action. Because again, if you're in where we are in our age range, anywhere between 40, right, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, we have plenty of life ahead of us. However, we're not in our 20s. You don't want to be circling the drain and trying to figure it out on your own. No, we don't want to do that. We're not circle the drain type of women anymore. We want to know, okay, what is it that I need? How do I do it? Show me how to do it, and let me get on with my life. Right?
I couldn't have said it better. That's exactly what I've done. Coming here I've rearranged my whole life, and I am a priority. And I don't. One of the biggest challenge that I've had was I didn't judge anybody. Of course not. There was no room to judge.
Yeah, because you were judging yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was awesome when Katie helped me figure that out. And I don't judge it. I don't need to judge anybody else, and I don't need to judge myself. I just need to live my best life possible.
Yep.
Now that I am in the flow of who I truly am, I'm, this pretty cool woman, who's not 20, but, is feeling really good about herself. And
who looks 20.
Yeah.
Look at you. I love it. Yeah. And dancing up a storm and living and all of that. I love it. I love it. So thank you for coming, Melva. I mean, truly, thank you for your time and for anyone. And it's so wonderful that Mel was here today, because I think you really spoke to Mel and she was able to really receive some guidance. And if you're listening to our story, right, both Melva and myself, and where we are today, come and join DG. Right. Please. It is an opportunity. It's a wonderful place to be. Yeah. You get to be part of a sisterhood. You get to heal from the past. You get to travel together. Right. We get to do fun things. We get to do everything that's on our dream and our bucket list. We get to do. And we get to do it right and more. Right.
And in a very short amount of time. It's just wonderful. And it is true.
Yep.
Even though, at times.
I know it's hard, but thank you for sharing that, because I could say it a million times, but you know what? And I don't want people to take my word for it. Right. Because this is, and I'm going to step back even a little bit too, but this isn't about Donna or about Katie or about Jackie or about, it's really, I believe, I say God, but you could say universe or source. Or or love, whatever your word is for that's something greater than yourself. But this is God working through us, and delivering a message, right? And everybody who's a DG sister needs to be here because you are contributing to that energy and that flow and that frequency. And so as our tribe grows and as our tribe is sort of connecting with one another, this energy is just getting greater and greater. It's just becoming more and more transformational, right? And more and more and more connections. And and again, you could go into the Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond inner circle group, or when you graduate in the alumni group, you need something. You have people, you have, again, the best minds in the planet able to be there to support you. You need to go somewhere. We have sisters that visit each other, say, hey, I'm going to be in this state, and you're great, come on over, right? We've had sisters before who needed to get away from the weekend, and there's been women who owned Airbnbs, and I'm like, hey, listen, this Airbnb is free. Here's a key. Go and enjoy the weekend, because we're family. Like, that's what we do, is we really get to live this life. And divorce is not something who we are. We are not a divorced woman. We are a woman who's been through a divorce. That's it.
That. Yes, definitely.
We get to be the woman who we choose we want to be. We get to take our identity back, right? And say, hey, wait a minute, the world, this is how I'm going. And if you're like me, I want to slide into my grave, hair a mess. Yeah, I'm going to be wearing my pearls to my grave. Yeah, I'm going to be going in with my pearls, but hair a mess, dirt on my face, jeans ripped. And I want to have it say, she did, even when it doesn't turn out the way that I thought it would, or the way that I think it's great, because I know when I take action, even when it takes me on a wrong turn, it always leads me to the right turn, which I never would have seen if I didn't take the chance.
That's good. You know what, Donna? Thank you for saying that, because that's true. Yep. I took the chance on this group, and is it okay if I add a little bit more to this?
Go, okay. Yeah.
Okay. It is a sisterhood.
Yep.
When we first met, I said, that another thing that I didn't think was possible, but it's a family, it's a sisterhood. And I have never in my 59 years ever felt so understood, so, loved, cared for. I don't need, here we go again, the words. I mean, I can't say enough. And I'm not, I mean, first of all, trusting people is a challenge for me. And I am able to, since day one, I was able to open up and felt so safe. Like, wow. I mean, this is okay. I
can do this. Like, holy camole.
Yeah, holy camole. And then you can have a tsunami. Yeah. And it's okay. There's a safe place for you.
Yes.
That I had never, ever felt that. I had never felt so safe in my life. That's why you said only one group, but I did that one group, and then that Thursday I missed it, and I said, no, I need to be every week and twice a week, and I rearranged everything, and it was the best thing. And it's just like one thing on top of the other, and it's just like,
and look where you are, and that's something that's where you could really look and say to yourself, not from an ego standpoint, but from a standpoint of a woman who's made a choice of where she's going, has done the work, has taken the inspired action, took a chance.
Yes.
And now you could say, I did this. See this life? I did this. This life that I'm living, I created this, which also gives us the impetus to know that if we do this, it's rinse, wash, and repeat. We could create and have anything we want. We really can. There's nothing in this world you cannot have or achieve.
Oh, please.
Right? There's nothing. And when you know that you could do it, there's nothing that stops us. So with that said, thank you so much, Melva. It was so good to see you.
Donna,
sending love to all my sisters. Yay. And right below this video will be an invitation for a breakthrough call. So go ahead and book a call with me, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Yay. All right.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.